All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of What's What BR. Today we've got two guests with us today. We've got Marianne Addy and Robin Alexander. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Oh, we're good. It's getting close to Thanksgiving here. So we got, appreciate you guys taking some time. There's a lot going on, especially in your, realm. For everybody who doesn't know, you guys are with the Ronald McDonald House, Charities of South Louisiana, correct?
That's correct.
Right.
So somebody tell me, for the person who has been under a rock, for years, what is the Ronald McDonald House?
Okay. Well, we are a home away from home for families of seriously ill or injured children who are requiring medical treatment in the New Orleans area. So we serve probably about 75% of our families come from all over Louisiana to stay at the Ronald McDonald House. Other states, excuse me, other countries. So we provide them that, home away from home, where they get free accommodations, transportation if they need it, meals, and just a good support network for one another.
It's funny, we had talked a little bit, but I didn't think about it until you just connected the dots. It's in New Orleans, but it's probably not used as often for people that are in New Orleans because they've usually got a place.
Right,
Correct?
right. It's you have to be 25 miles outside of New Orleans to stay at Ronald McDonald House. So, I think last year we served probably about 50 families from the Baton Rouge community, but it's folks who are really far enough away from home, and it's all about family-centered care. Families and children will respond better to know if they have mom and dad close by them.
Absolutely. And Robin, you take care of the house, right? You kind of wrangling and logistics and kind of keeping everybody, keeping all the wheels on the bus going round and round, right?
Right. So I actually manage the house and the family services staff that works here. We're here, front and center, making sure that the families have what they need, making sure that the house is operating in tip-top shape. And when they come back from a day of visiting their child at the hospital, we want to make sure that they have all the comforts of home as if, they were at home. And that's one less thing they have to worry about because they have, they need to be focused on their child's health and healing. So we want to make sure that when they come here, it's like coming home and they can rest and relax and recoup. We have meals provided for them. We have, nice accommodations, whatever they need. My staff and I are here to make sure that it's provided for them.
And that sounds like normally a challenge, in itself on a regular, any given year. But the year that we've had this year has got to make that a little more complicated, to say the least. I've talked to so many people, and many people, have their business, disaster plans, continuity plans. Nobody I've talked to has had a pandemic plan that they were able to just kind of pull off the shelf and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. That's obviously had to change the way you guys do some things, from cleaning the house, keeping up with it. I think you talked a little bit before about some of the food you were talking, it's different now. You've got to do things different, right?
Right, absolutely. Prior to the pandemic, we had volunteers and groups of people that would come into the house and prepare meals for our families every night and serve them and, help around the house. And because of COVID-19, we can't do that anymore. We were pretty much having to not allow visitors in the house and no volunteers right now, making sure everybody's safe and COVID free.
But we are having, sponsored groups that will sponsor. Right. Restaurants will actually deliver foods to the house. So we are making sure that our families are, being fed, and we're actually supporting the local restaurant, economy, because, we know that that's also been hit as well. So, but you're right, from temperature checks when they come in, wellness checks every day, wearing masks, social distancing, we're having to practice all of those things as well.
It's amazing what everybody's had to do. So how did this, Marion, how did this start? What's the background for anybody who doesn't know? This is, you guys have been, or I guess, how long's the house been around?
Well,
and
we will celebrate since December 10th, 1983. So we're about to celebrate 37 years. We are the 53rd Ronald McDonald House that was built. It started in 1974 when Fred Hill who was a Philadelphia Eagle. His daughter had a leukemia in Philadelphia, and they were sleeping in the waiting room. And they were like, something has to give. So they connected with the general manager of the Eagles organization and Dr. Evans, who is with the Children's Hospital. And they came up with this idea of building this house to, take care of families who are going through something like this. And after that, it just, Ronald McDonald houses sprouted up, everywhere. And I think we have about 377 Ronald McDonald houses across the world. 45 countries, just a phenomenal movement.
that's amazing. And rumor has it you guys have a new house, hopefully, coming in after 37 years.
We're very excited. We are going to be expanding and relocating to the Children's Hospital campus in Uptown New Orleans. We hope to break ground before the year end. It's a partnership they're doing with Children's Hospital. Although we serve families from all, healthcare groups, not just children's, but Ochsner and, other ones as well. But we're very excited because it will allow us to have 22 rooms with private bathrooms and just expand it. And that's key because currently our current house right now is only got community bathrooms. So we've had to limit our occupancy to ensure that families, are not having to share bathrooms because of the COVID-19.
Wow, that's almost like a mini hotel, not really a house. 22 rooms.
It's going to be beautiful with game room, large kitchen, pantry, library for quiet space when you need that. We have what's called a magic room, which will be your toy room, where Robin was telling me about. She took one of our little girls last week, to go look at, pick out her pick out some gifts to take back to her siblings. So it's just going to be really great.
Wow. So Robin, that just sounds like a whole lot of work on your side as well. That's going to turn into even more to where, because I don't think, as much as I think everybody wants, I don't think we're going to see all of this, pandemic go away January 1, when we're out of 2020. But I think, so that's going to, how that plans, how that gets done, everything just sounds like a whole lot of work. And, with that work also, you guys are nonprofit as well,
Right.
and have to, raise money to do some of these things and to help. And so you guys, I know, kind of did some research. You guys are taking part in 225's, gives, campaign that's coming up December 2nd. So, how much of an impact is that for you guys? It's been an impact for, not necessarily, I'm not asking from the financial side exactly, but, you guys rely heavily on, donations, correct? From the community?
Correct. Yeah, we rely solely on donations and fundraising and giving. And we need everyone to know that, the accommodations and the support that we provide, we need your help. We need everyone's help to make sure that we can continue to do what we do. And we're excited about the move to Children's Hospital. That's going to be more room and more space for more families. And that's what we're all about. My staff and I, we don't see it as more work. We see it as more family, more time we love to have the families here. It's like, we treat it like our house, like a big house, and people come in and we talk to them, share their stories. And not more work in the sense of hard work. It will be, more families that we can interact with and serve. But we do need donations. We need that support. And Marianne can talk more about 225 Gives and everything that we're doing on Giving Tuesday to raise money. But absolutely, it's crucial that we have people's help. Yeah,
Marianne, tell us a little bit about that. It's been, I've talked to a lot of nonprofits, as we've been doing. We started this show, I don't know, I guess it was probably, March or April, we started doing this. We're up to, close to 75 shows now. And we've had a lot of nonprofits, that have come on and talked about, that they rely a lot on these, the fundraising, efforts, and they're not allowed to have a lot of their events this year. And it's just hard, for people to give. And the big thing that we've stressed, and what I'm excited about with 225 Gives, is it's now easy. And that's a big thing that I think what they've done with 225 Gives, it's easy to give, and it doesn't have to be that we don't need somebody to go give, we'd love $1,000 donation. We'd love a $5,000, but if you don't have the means, but what I've been saying is we'd love your $5, donation. Every little bit, helps. And it's something you can do from your couch. You can right
exactly.
there.
I mean, it's that whole idea of being able to, Rob and I, we created, fundraising pages that we can go ahead and share on our social media channels, and so our friends and family, if they just can go ahead and do a quick online gift, $10 is great. Whatever people can afford is definitely welcome. Because again, we don't ask for, our families who stay here, they don't have to pay anything. We have a suggested $10 donation a night, but it probably costs our charity about $95 a night to house a family. But again, it's all about, wanting to help people wherever they're at, no matter what.
Well, tell me, that's how do people, and what's the process? How does that, how does someone, if they've got, a child and is it, a phone call to where, how do they get into the house, or what's the first step? I think a lot of people might not think that's an option for them, or they don't know that the house exists. How does somebody get kind of in the queue, I guess, or in the hopper?
So we get phone calls from families inquiring about staying here. People can go on our website and click on how to stay. But our main source of referrals comes from the hospitals. They, we partner with them, and they know that if they have a family that's from out of town and they're going to need a stay or accommodation in New Orleans, we get the referrals from the hospital. They will call or fax it over or send it through our website saying, hey, this family needs to stay 5 nights or, 1 month. But we do ask our people who are inquiring about staying, give us a call. I can always help them figure out if we have space available, and if not, help them find other accommodations. But yeah, they can call, go to our website, or talk to that hospital social worker or healthcare provider where their child is receiving the care.
Okay. So right now, you guys fully operational, everything's, up and running and going just as if there was nothing going on, so to me, it would seem it's even more important for people to, if they can give, if they can help, to help. I also was reading you've got a program, Meals, from the Heart. Is that something new that's come up? Is that kind of what you're talking about with the restaurants, coming involved?
Yes. Meals from the Heart was, we basically changed it from a volunteer provided meals where groups come in and cook to instead now they're sponsoring the meals. So the meals are arriving, but they have to be cooked in a commercial kitchen. And again, that's about our guidelines for food safety and handling as well. So Meals from the Heart is kind of changed a little bit. It looks a little different, but it's still, feeding families. And then we have a new program that we rolled out over the pandemic when we were temporarily closed, and that's Comforts of Home. And those are comfort bags filled with games, toiletry items, gift cards that we deliver to the social workers who get them to the families in the hospitals who may not presently be staying at Ronald McDonald House, New Orleans, but still, are needing some, comforts of home, a little bit of a tangible thing that shows that they're not alone.
I think that's those things make the difference, right? You know, it's a complete difference versus staying in the house versus a hotel. You know, it's that home, and you're having to meet people, you know, kind of possibly some of the, you know, worst days of their life, you know, and they need that, you know, kind of safe space to go back to. And I think that's really great what you guys are providing and able to do and continue to do, you know, for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, I mean, last week we had two of the families, I mean, their child was having open heart surgery. And I mean, I just can't, as a parent myself, I just can't imagine having to deal with that on top of having to deal with a pandemic. I mean, that's just really
That's
tough.
well, and I think what it sounds like, and from what my research is, you guys have taken a lot of the things that people just don't need to deal with, you know, during that time. I'm picturing, you know, a family with open heart surgery. You know, if you've got a child having open heart surgery, the last thing you want to deal with, you know, is, you know, where am I going to grab something to eat? How am I going to get to or from, you know, this hospital? I'm in a town that I've not been to before. Where are we going to stay? Oh, we're in the hotel. I can't, you know, sometimes people just need, you know, their space, you know, in the hotel, you're stuck, you know, with the same person, you know, a spouse, maybe that you've been sitting in the hospital, stress can get, you know, up there. I can only imagine, but you've got the ability where, you know, it's like, hey, let's just take all this stuff away. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about the financial side of it. You know, we're going to take care of all this, you know, for you. You just go be there, you know, for your child. And I think that's a big need that I think we have, you know, that a lot of people don't realize. And that's what I've learned with talking with a lot of these nonprofits is the services that you guys are providing are key to kind of the society and the fabric that we all, you know, have. And you'll never appreciate it as much until you need it one day. But if you can step in, you know, now's the time, I would think. So anything else going on that we should, you know, let everybody know about, talk about?
Well, I would encourage, I would love to talk about McDonald's because they are our, you know, our largest global partner with us. And, you know, for someone, you know, I would say, you know, next time you go to McDonald's, ask them to round up for RMHC and they'll round up your order, you know, so all of the change goes to Ronald McDonald House Charities. And they recently came out, you know, a big announcement that they're going to really help our global organization. So they're definitely a fantastic partner. We get a penny per Happy Meal. So every Happy Meal we get, you know, there's a penny that comes to RMHC. And it's those little things, those pennies add up. And so I would want to, you know, recognize and applaud McDonald's for their partnership with us.
That's, yeah, they've run a pretty large volume, you know, over to you guys and help you guys get things, you know, moving the way that they should. And so it's that I'm trying to think, do you know the story of how they got involved, you know, originally in this? Or
I should. it all has to do with, I think, the very first house. And that's how it got started with the Fred Hill story set in Philadelphia. We have members of our board or on our, we have several members of our board who are McDonald's owner operators. And like I said, between the canister donations, the penny per Happy Meal, and then asking people to round up, it's definitely been, you know, probably about 30% of our revenue comes from McDonald's organization. And that really helps us because, you know, that means, well, we only have to raise the, you know, the other 70%, which really, you know, helps.
Well, hopefully this can, you know, people will understand how important this is, that it's just because it's yes, it's the house in New Orleans, but if you're in New Orleans, you're not staying there, you know, so it's, you know, if you're here in Baton Rouge and you've got a situation or you've got a friend, you know, or, you know, a loved one that's in a situation, that's what you guys are there for. So I thought it was important to get you guys in here and talk, and hopefully we can help you guys through Giving Day. For anybody that doesn't know, that's December 2nd is
December
when it kicks
1st.
off. Is it first? I thought it was second.
And guess whose birthday it is? It's Robin's birthday.
Oh, there we go.
Not only will you be giving the Ronald McDonald House, but you'll be giving it on Robin's birthday. So it's a double celebration.
I did hear it's the Giving Days on the 1st, but they're going to open it up like a week prior.
Yeah, so it's open now.
It's just opened up to where you can actually start, you know, making some of those donations now. And then they've made it extremely easy, you know, and I think that's what I was talking about earlier, that before it would have been hard. And I think a lot of people they may not have known how, this is important to me, or how can I do this, or how do I, where do I bring a check? There's so many moving parts now. It's open up your phone. You can kind of run it through, add a bunch of, different groups that you want to support, into your cart, and make an easy, donation. And the $5, you say the pennies add up, the $5 adds up, it makes a big deal. So.
Oh yeah, I'd rather take the $5 than the pennies, but with everything, really, no matter what size, is definitely appreciated. And it is, we can guarantee it's well used.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I know you've got more important things to do than to talk with me. I appreciate you coming, on the show today, talking to us, kind of telling us a little more about what you got going on. Love to have you back here more, as this,
Awesome.
groundbreaking, and you get the new place, underway, come back and get some updates here and there. So I'm sure there's going to be some needs, as we get along there, and if we can help you, fill those needs, we'd love to.
Oh, thank you so much. You got it. We'd love to come back.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a great day and a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. You too.
Bye.